Good morning. Thank you for being here. I want to give an update on the 2024 revaluation and Board of Revision process. I started these weekly updates as a way to provide regular information to the community as we worked through a programming error that impacted less than 1% of the property values in Lucas County. Those errors have been resolved and all of those values have been corrected. And so with that, this will be our last regular Friday update, but we will continue to share news as it happens, and I will call everybody together again. So with that in mind, here's a short update. I have signed a contract with John G. Clemenshaw. We gave the draft of that contract last week, and I've asked him to audit our revaluation process. And I want him to take as much time as he needs in order to provide a complete, comprehensive report to the taxpayers of Lucas County. So because of that, we don't have an exact completion date, but again, we'll provide information as it becomes available from that audit. Second, we are continuing our public outreach sessions, and so with that, we've already had about 200, 300 people go through those community events, and we've heard a lot of feedback about concerns about property revaluation, but then also understanding how to challenge those values or what they can do as a result of those property values. And so we've had a lot of good feedback and a lot of people that have gone through these public outreach sessions with me and my staff to actually get a better understanding of what their options are and how to challenge values with the Board of Revision. We are currently in the Board of Revision process. We are having hearings as we speak, and to date we've had about 175 hearings, and we've also had about 3,400 people file with the Board of Revision. And of course, we stand ready to answer any questions that people might have about the revaluation process, the Board of Revision process. My team and I stand ready to help with any taxpayers with those issues. So thank you. Any questions?
Of those 175 hearings that the Board of Revision has held, how many of them have led to some relief for the property taxpayer?
So the Board of Revision, we are processing those decisions, and we will send out decision letters. Because we are working nonstop, every day, every single day through the end of the day, we are still processing those decision letters, and we can give an update. Of course, every hearing of the Board of Revision is public. So if you have specific hearing cases that you want to have more information, we're happy to provide that.
3,400 you said have filed.
Correct.
On a typical year, is this number higher, lower? Where is this number compared to past years?
That's a great question. So typically we have about 200 to 300 a year on a non-revaluation year. We've gone as high as 13,000 one year, which was after, again, a significant property value change.
13,000?
Correct.
Wow. What year was that, do you know?
That was 2008. So this is the most we have seen in quite some time. But it's on par, it's what we expected given the significant change in values.
You said 200 to 300 are typical?
Correct.
So 200 to 300 are typical. You have 3,400. A high was 2008 of 13,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I can give you those specifics. We have all those.
What are residents and property owners saying to you? What's surprising you and your staff when you're in the community this last couple weeks?
So one thing I've noticed is, people do have concerns about the increase in values, but I think they didn't know all the options and how, property is valued in Lucas County. And so I think having those one-on-one conversations with folks to explain the process, how we got here, and what they can do to contest it has probably been the most revealing part of this entire community outreach sessions.
When should people expect the letters if they appeal?
Again, those are taking some time to process, so I would say a few weeks, but we're working as fast as we can given all of the outreach we're doing on top of all of the hearings. And I will be deploying more resources to the Board of Revision hearings. With the significant increase, I recognize that we need to probably schedule more hearings and having more hearing rooms for the Board of Revision, so that can hopefully offer some relief and get more expedited responses.
There have been allegations made by Josh Williams and others that the reason that so many people are shocked this time around by the increase in their undervalued for a long time beforehand. Do you think that there's any truth to that?
So I understand that Josh Williams, Representative Williams, has called on the Auditor of State to evaluate that process. Of course, I only came into office in 2024, so I can't speak to what was done previously, but obviously the value of the property coming into this will impact the significant increases. And so again, I think with this third-party audit that we're conducting and whatever the Auditor of State decides, I think will reveal or shed some more light onto that specific question.
Where are you at on the state? Clearly Josh had asked for that. Have they come in? Have they talked to you? What's been the interaction like?
I have had no communication with the Auditor of State, so I'm still waiting to know if they will or will not come into the office.
And if they want to talk, if they want to come into the office, your response is what?
Oh, I'm always willing to cooperate and help with the Auditor of State. Right now, they are conducting our external fiscal audit for Lucas County that we spearhead in the Auditor's office. So, happy to work with the Auditor of State on this and any other questions, investigations they might have.
In the 175 hearings that you've held, has your Board of Revision noticed any trends? People bringing in too much information, not enough information? Has there been anything they've taken from those hearings?
Again, we are processing all of those decisions as they come with the limited resources we have right now. I think for that's 175 out of over 3,400, it's really hard to glean or a fair representation of what that might mean overall. But we encourage people to bring evidence. There have been instances where people don't have anything to back up what they want. So again, it's just really important that they do have evidence as to why they think their value should change. And of course, our staff is ready to answer questions, provide insight of what that might be or what might be helpful in their Board of Revision hearing. So anyone can call our office, they can visit our office, they can come to our community meetings. My staff and I are ready to help and answer those questions.
What are you guys hoping the investigation finds, or are you expecting anything from the investigation?
I want the facts and the truth to come out in these investigations, and I want a roadmap of best practices so that the taxpayers of Lucas County and the next reappraisal know that we are doing the best job that we can and that everything is being done fairly and equitably.
Yeah, what is I can't think off the top of my head. The next one would be what, 2027?
2027 will be a market update, will be a triennial update, and then our next reappraisal, revaluation, like we're having this year, will be in 2030.
Okay.
So we have time to establish those best practices, and again, why I'm so looking forward to getting the results of this comprehensive audit, independent audit.
Do you know the 3,400 that have filed, do you know any sort of demographics of where those properties are? Are they in the city? Are they in the suburbs? Do you know anything about that?
That's a great question. I don't have that data right now.
Okay.
Concerning the evidence that people need to bring to Board of Revision hearings to make their case, what's the gold standard here? Is it a private appraisal? Is it a sale of a house right next door of comparable value? What's the best possible thing that someone could bring to the Board of Revision to make their case?
Comparable sales are the best evidence to provide. It is really what undergirds the whole valuation process. As I've mentioned before, we provide the state data every month on what sales and transfers have occurred in Lucas County. They see what the percentage changes are, based off those sales, and then that gives them the guidepost of what they then expect changes in our county to be. So I would say there's anything that can help your case, any evidence that can help your case, of course, bring that forward. But I would say the best is going to be a comparable sale to your property when you're going to the Board of Revision.
These values at some point turn into tax dollars, tax revenue for the county. Have you felt any pressure or any angst at all that if you do bring some values down, that could affect the revenue that comes into the county?
I have not felt any pressure from any official regarding that. We, of course, the main goal of this office is to value the property fairly. That is, to get the right value. And so we understand that affects taxes, but that is the mission, and that's what I'm charged with as the county auditor, is to have the true value of property.
Okay. And then one more time, the timeline on Mr. Clemenshaw. So the contract is signed.
Correct.
Is he and his team in the office? Are they doing the work? What does that schedule look like? And there's no end date, but what does the start look like?
Right, so they've already received, they've already started work. There have been documents shared with Mr. Clemenshaw. I know he'll be starting interviews shortly, so the work has started, and, you know, again, anything that they need to be able to do a complete and comprehensive report, we're ready to help.
Will he be interviewing Joe and Sally Public or people in the office here? Who will he be talking with?
I think as he investigates, that'll reveal itself. You know, I don't know every detail because again, it is independent. So I want to make sure that he goes where the facts lead him. So it might end up being interviewing someone from the public, but understanding what actually happened in 2024 to get to these values.
I guess I ask because will people get a letter from his office or anything like that, or?
Likely no. This isn't going through every individual property revaluation. What we're doing is looking at the overall 2024 process. That's what he's auditing. So likely no one will be receiving a letter because again, it's not reevaluating or auditing individual properties. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.